In our today's tutorial, we will go through the role of a return keyword or statement which is used in functions many a times. So let's move ahead. If you see, basically the functions are categorized into different ways. One is the void category and another is non-void category. If we talk about void category, it means the function doesn't return any value. In Python, such functions either they don't contain any kind of return statement, or if there is any return statement, then there is no associated value with the return. Means if there is a return statement, there will not be any variable or a value with the return keyword. If we talk about the non-void category, then all the non-void functions, the return statement is there always, and the every return statement it has either a variable or a literal or a expression which returns some kind of value when being called somewhere in the program. Let's see ahead. Void function, what is the role of return keyword? So return just suspends function block and the interpreter returns to the block where the function has been called. This means whensoever return will be executed by the interpreter, the block execution will be terminated there, and since it's a void function, it will not return any value, and the interpreter will come back to the statement where the uh, function was called. So let's take some examples for its explanation. This is one function, fun for no. This function has no return statement, rather it is just pass, means it's an empty kind of function definition. So if we try to print the output of this function while we make a call, so print function makes a call to it. So since it will print the value being written by this function, since there is no return statements, the output will be none. Let's go ahead for the other example. Here again a function is stated, but there is a return statement. Now, as I said about the void functions, the return statement may be there, but it will not be having any value, any variable or any expression so that it can return any value. So here also, when we made a call to the function in print statement, the output is still none. Let's move ahead to the other category where non-void functions are there. Now for non-void functions, the interpreter returns a value. Before it jumps back to the calling block, it makes use of the literal or the variable or the expression stated with the return statement of the function definition. So that value will be returned and will be used in the calling function. Let's see some examples associated with this. So here what will be the role? As I said, the execution of the function will be whichever the function definition is there, it will be suspended if the return statement gets executed by the interpreter. So here function has been defined, and a str string has been created with value decode. The object's value is decode, and len function has been called for str. So this function, as we know, evaluates the length of the string. So here 6 will be assigned to L, and since return has L with it, so whenever this function will be called, it will return 6 in whichsoever the block it will be called. Let's go for the other example. It says the return statement in any program, it may return a literal, it may return a variable, or it may return an expression also. Here there are some examples. So the first function definition, x has 10 value, the object's value is 10. So return x means the variable is specified with return, so it will return the value of x. in the next definition, the return statement has a expression x plus y. So uh, both the two variables x and y will be added. 10 plus 20, 30 will be returned here. And in the last function definition, the return statement has 5, the literal. So it will always return 5. And so these are some examples as which are the possible combinations for a return statement so that it can return any value. Let's go ahead and some circumstances which may occur and associated with the property of return keyword. As I said earlier also, that as soon as the return statement will be executed by the interpreter, the control will be transferred back to the calling block. So if there is any one or more statements in the function definition after return, then they will not be executed. So like this is one example where return middle function has been defined. A is assigned 1 and return A is there. So here 1 will be returned, and since there is another statement A equals to 2, this statement will not be executed ever. Means it will always return the previous executions and return. Since being a jump statement, the control will be transferred by the interpreter to the calling block. The print statement makes a call to the function, so it will print, and it will always print. In this case, it will always print 1. Let's go to another case of return statement. A return statement may return multiple values also. As many variables or literals or keywords are expressions are stated with return statement, those much values will be returned by the function when it will be called. Like in this example, the return two values function, it has two variables, and the return statement has a and b both, a comma b. So this will return two values. Now whenever it will be called anywhere in the program, the two values will be stored in, for this particular case, two different variables. So you can see here x and y, x comma y equals to return two values. So these two values mean 40 and 2, these will be returned by the function call, and 40 will be assigned to x, 2 will be assigned to y. Let's go move ahead about the properties of return statement. So this we have seen that if return statement gets executed, then the control will be transferred back to the calling block. This is another case where a function definition may have multiple return statements. Now as per the property of return, since it's a jump statement, whensoever one of the jump statement will be executed, after that the control, again saying the control will be transferred back by the interpreter in the calling block. So this is one case. The first return statement, it is stated in the first conditional statement, that is if. Another is in else. So the return statements, it's not that all of the return statements will be executed in sequence, rather one of these, because they are in conditional statements. So if the condition stated with if will be correct, then first statement will be returned as a value. If it fails, then second statement will be returned by the function call. So let's go to an example when the function will be called multiple returns and we are passing true. True means 1. So the function definition will get 1 for the variable, the formal argument n. So since it is if will get 1, that means it's true. so this will get executed, so it will get the value first statement. In this case the returned value is a string, that is first statement. Let's go to the another one. The function has been again called in the print statement, and there the argument passed is false. So what will happen, this false will go to the formal argument n, and this n will be used by if first. Since it will fail, so it will go to the else case. So here in this execution the second statement string will be returned. That's how it will work out for multiple return statements in any program. It is also possible that the same function definition um, is defined in such a way that in every return, whenever it will be it will return some value, the value, the object will be which will be returned by the function call, it may differ in different cases. Like in this example, the various return types function has been defined, and in one case the return type is a string, in the second case the return type is a value, is an integer, and in the third case it's a boolean. So you can see when we called it in the print function, the various return types statement with value 1, so it returned hello world, because if gets executed 1 double equals to 1 will be true, so the first return hello world will be executed, and this print statement will get a value hello world. So the output will be here in this case hello world. For the second case, since the argument is 2, so if will fail, elif will get succeed, because 2 double equals to 2, and the return statement associated with elif will get executed. So there the return is 42, so what will be printed, 42 will be printed. That's how the same function definition may have return statements, various return statements which return values of different types. That's about the different syntaxes associated with any return keyword. What common thing we found here is that it will get executed, only one of the return statement of a function definition will get executed in every case.